Okay, my name is Rupert Wallis, and I'm the author of The Dark Inside, and this is the first chapter. Run. And James did, out the back door, through the gap in the garden fence, not stopping, even after the bellowing of his stepfather had wasted in the wind, and there was nothing but the whip of grass across its shins. He cut a silver channel through the meadow, climbed the rotten, spongy stile, dropped down into the lane, and kept on going, fists pumping as the slope began to bite. The house on the hill, it was called, a small lead box on the skyline at a couple of miles. Inside, it was a musty, cobwebby place with peeling walls, slick from damp. It had been there on the hill, overlooking the village, for as long as anyone could remember, ever present, like a boulder left over from an ancient time. The kitchen was cool and smelt of sea spray. James leant against the old range cooker to catch his breath. His arm was sore below the sleeve of his t-shirt, where his stepfather had punched him. James had not dropped the bottle, but his stepfather found it much easier to blame the boy for things. A bruise was darkening, and rubbing only made it worse and more difficult to forget. So he walked on into a large hallway and stopped at the bottom of a wooden staircase with a wide, pale stripe up its centre. He waited, listening, until he was sure he was alone, and then carried on up the stairs, accompanied by a tune of creaks and clicks he knew off by heart. Up onto the landing, straight on into a large bedroom, rotten bay windows, green hills beyond, a stub of chalk below them on the windowsill. The long wall opposite was painted black with writing chalked all over that winked like frost. Wrapping his hand inside his t-shirt, James wiped away the final digit from a number written large in the centre of the wall that read 1642 and rewrote it as 1641. He mouthed the number like a prayer, shuffling backwards, then slumping down on the baggy green sofa behind him in a cloud of dust and sunlight. The fabric smelt, but the boy put up with it because the house was somewhere to be. He sat for a while, staring at the writing on the wall, and then he sighed and stood up and placed the chalk back on the windowsill and looked out at the canopy of blue sky overhanging the green hills. Sheep were grubs. A bird circling in the blue became a taut black line. He walked slowly around the top floor of the house, inspecting each room carefully in turn, because he was in no hurry to go home, which was why he found the body. It was lying against a wall in the smallest of the 5 bedrooms, as if the sea had left it there for him to find.